It's time for another edition of Cowboys Insider inside the Academy Sports and Outdoor Studios here at the Star in Frisco, Texas. I am Bill Jones along with Nate Newton, Rick Goslin. We got Everson Walls in the rest of the way as Daryl Johnston is dealing with his new GM duties with the San Antonio Commanders of the Alliance of American Football, the new spring league, but it's the Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams. It's divisional playoff time. Saturday night, 7:15 Dallas time after a big win over the Seattle Seahawks. As usual, Everson, we start with some opening comments, go around the horn, so we'll start with you.
Yeah, one thing about the game that I really enjoyed was we almost played our mirror selves. We played images of ourselves, and we came out on top. The difference I thought was going to be in that game was how the quarterback played. Everybody else is the same.
And you know what I loved about it is it came down to your offensive line blocking pretty good and your defensive line getting out early, making some plays. That allowed all your stars to come in the hand. Great game.
This game will not be a mirror image of the team. One team wants football in the air, and the other team better take the ball out of the air, just deflate the ball and hold on to the ball.
And we'll dive into the Los Angeles Rams over the course of the next half hour. But, run defense was huge in that game against Seattle. But let's start on the offensive side of the ball. Let's start with the quarterback, because at crunch time, Dak Prescott came through in a very big way, Everson.
Yeah, he really did. And when you looked at the game, you saw moments of the same old, here we go again with Dak. You saw some very errant passes. But then as the game went on, you could see that his defense gave him an opportunity to really get his feet up under him. His footwork got in a whole lot better as the game went on. And then his confidence just really started to brew as we got down to the latter stages of the game. That's what I really liked about it. The finish. We finished hard, and that's what you have to do in the playoffs. You have to finish strong.
I tell you what, the quarterback to me, man, he played like he played the week before and when he played at Mississippi State. He got out, he moved around, he forced the issue when he had to with his feet. But this is what, look, see him running right there? He had that I don't care attitude, and his team jumped on his back and they rode it to a victory.
Yeah, I think he's a master of moments. He may not always look pretty, but when the lights are brightest on the stage, he performs, and we saw that again last weekend.
And then Ezekiel Elliott, you talk about the heartbeat of this team and running the football, and Zeke, and we've seen it all season long, how important he is to this team. He's going to be huge this week against Gurley and those Rams, too.
He really is. And the rest that he had against the Giants, that was big, because you could see he came out hungry for this game. Not only was he hitting the hole hard, but even after contact, he was not giving up. I've never seen him lunge and extend the ball as much as he did in this game. He realized that this is the moment for this team to jump on his back, and he was ready.
He got inside, outside, Zeke everywhere. Like I said, once again, that O-line was nice. And when they went load right down there on the goal line, I knew we had this right here. I knew we had this.
Yeah, when Elliott is the best player on the field, the best running back on the field, the Cowboys win. And when the Rams played here a year ago, Gurley was the best running back on the field, and the Rams won. Elliott has to be the best runner in this game for the Cowboys to win.
And then Amari Cooper, of course, the midseason trade. Everyone's talked about that, and Cooper had 100 yards receiving in this game.
Yeah, it seems like every time Cooper comes to play, that's Dak's confidence level right there. You can see as well as when Cooper plays well, Dak plays well with very few exceptions. And his best timing moments with Dak seem to be in the really clutch parts of the game. You saw the sideline that Dak just threw to him early in the game. I mean, he dropped that on a dime. I don't think Dak still has the trust in all of his receivers that he has in Cooper. And as long as that trust is there, I'm loving it. But I wish he would just kind of start to spread it around a little bit, make me feel a little more comfortable.
Do what you do, Dak. I ain't with Walls. Whatever it takes to win the game, I'm with Rick. In the biggest moments, this cat shows up in the biggest ways. And believe me, Cooper is his heartthrob, but hey, throw it, man. Throw it to Cooper.
And keep an eye on Michael Gallup. I think when Cooper arrived, that made Gallup a better receiver. You saw the touchdown last week. He can be to Cooper what Alvin Harper was to Michael Irvin.
And, we talk about the Cooper trade at midseason. The Cowboys did another thing at midseason, which was they promoted Mark Colombo and they brought Hudson Houck out of retirement. And that offensive line the second half of the season, it's one of the big reasons this team has won 8 of its last 9 games. Let's go to the offensive line.
During the game, you saw him go man-to-man blocking because the guard and the tackle be on different levels. So they went a lot man-to-man. Even during games, when they changing games, when tackle in around, they stand man-to-man because they can't get on the same levels. The last coach didn't make that adjustment. Colombo made that adjustment. And that gave us one sack. And with the help of the quarterback moving around, great job, Mark Colombo.
Bill, I agree with everything he said.
We all agree with what
I have no idea what he said.
Man-to-man coverage.
All right, we're just getting started here on Cowboys Insider. We turn our attention to the defensive side of the football when we come back. How about the wolf calls from Leighton Vander Esch?
Cowboys Insider, presented by Baylor Scott & White, is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys. AT&T, more for your thing, that's our thing. And by Baylor Scott & White, changing healthcare for the better. This segment is brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Cowboys Insider continues now as we get you ready for the divisional playoff matchup on Saturday night in L.A. It's the Cowboys and the Los Angeles Rams, and time for our Academy Sports and Outdoors Sound of the Week. It comes from one Tyrone Crawford.
But, obviously we're in the playoffs, we're young, and we got a chance at something great. So obviously, guys are feeling good about our situation, and we have a brotherhood here where, we're just excited to get on that field with each other. And that's kind of the mindset that we have now, just excitement to get on that field and play and, just go to war with each other.
They have a chance to do something they haven't done in 26 years around here, and that's win a road playoff game. It's been since January 17, 1993, NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers that propelled Nate Newton and the Cowboys to Super Bowl 27.
And remember this, y'all don't have nothing to do with that, brother. Go out and play. Like I said, do your thing. You a young team. You don't know nothing about history, don't care nothing about history. Like Jason Garrett said, your next breath is your best breath. Believe that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You know why they don't know anything about that? Because more than half the team wasn't born 26 years ago.
Ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, that's right. All right, so let's talk about this defense. And run defense was so huge against Seattle last week. Their 1,000-yard rusher, Chris Carson, was held to 20 yards on 13 carries.
Yeah, it was an amazing game that defensively that we played. I was at the game, and to see the chaos that was caused on that front line, it scared me. You could see that the running backs were just looking for holes that were never going to be there. The linebackers are having a great year for us. We talk about Jalen, we talk about Vanders, but when you look inside at our defensive tackles, and I've been noticing this for the past at least 4 or 5 weeks, Woods gets off faster than probably anyone I've seen in the league at this point. He's one of the quicker players off the ball. Malik Collins, same thing. They seem to be bookends of each other. And the way that they're playing frees everything up for our linebackers to go and headhunt anyone out there that has the ball in their hands.
You want to see a defensive tackle get off the ball? Look at the Rams defense this week. We're there in Donald, which we'll talk about here in a second.
But I tell you what, will they stop the run like Malik Collins, like the human log, Antoine Woods? These guys will stop the run, and that allows Tank to do what he has to do, and our linebackers to come downhill. And I agree with you. They got some studs over there with the Rams, but these guys have fit the package of what the Dallas Cowboys need. That's to stop the run. 73 yards is all they gave up.
When they gave up 28 on one carry. So on the other 23 carries in the game, they only gave up 45 yards, less than 2 yards a carry.
Yeah, the difference was last week Seattle had to run. The whole key to their success is running the football. football. The Rams don't have to hand the ball off a single time, and they can still beat you. This is a team that finished second in the NFL in scoring. They scored almost 200 more points than the Cowboys did. You do not want to get into a shootout with these guys.
And, Malik Collins left the game with an ankle injury. He didn't practice early in the week here. We'll see what his status is. But, he's kind of an unsung guy. And you talk about those inside guys, he and Woods inside, that's big. And when you look at the Cowboy defenses of old, the Super Bowl teams of the 70s on into the 90s too, that interior of that defensive line was so huge.
Oh, we had Leon Lett, y'all, who did y'all have?
We have
so old ago. Randy White.
Tall guy named Too Tall and Harvey Martin. Harvey Martin just led the team in sacks.
You should know those guys, Rick.
I have to say, I want to say this. It's good to see Crawford. It's good to see Crawford up and around, especially the scare that everyone had when he went down in the early in the other game. And I was just glad to see him out there, not just playing, but just to hear him talking and doing well. That was a scary moment to see him out there playing. It was a good deal.
Let's talk about that speed on this Dallas defense, though, and it manifests more than anything at that linebacker position with Jalen Smith and Leighton Vander Esch.
But you see the speed at the linebacker because those tackles are keeping blockers off them. If those tackles are getting steamrolled, these linebackers are tied up. But that front four has done such a great job of keeping blockers off the linebackers. That's what happened when the Cowboys won Super Bowls in the 90s. They had a smaller, faster linebacker group, and that line kept them off. And that's why you're seeing all the speed out of Smith, Vander Esch, because that's free speed.
When they come to the game, I'm sure they're thinking, hey, these guys, they're fast, so we need to go wide.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go inside because they're fast. We can't go wide. It was amazing to see that all of that shut down immediately in the ball game. They knew from day one, from play one, that they're gonna have a problem in this game.
So, Everson, what are you seeing in the secondary right now?
In the secondary, they're living off the front seven, as any secondary should do. I know I keep harping on it. We really don't have those interceptions I think we should have. A couple of times, Awuzie, if he turns around, the ball's going to hit him in the face. But the coverage is there. And I have never seen the secondary make such an impact without having turnovers. And that's something they can hang their hat on. I did it my way, okay? Thurman Steves did it their way. These guys are doing it their own way. And I'm pretty excited about it. I love to see them catch more picks, but the way that they're playing, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I'm smiling here because here's a guy that intercepted passes in his sleep, and it's got to be so aggravating.
I don't understand it. I'm not going to try to understand it anymore. Chris Richard is balling. His team is balling. I'm going to let it go.
All right, we continue here on Cowboys Insider. In a moment, we take an up-close look at these Los Angeles Rams and Todd Gurley.
This segment was brought to you by the Dallas Morning News. Nobody does sports like Sports Day. Your home for complete Dallas Cowboys coverage. This segment is brought to you by DraftKings, because you don't just want to watch, you want to play.
Cowboys Insider continues here inside the Academy Sports and Outdoors studios here at the Star. Cowboys and Los Angeles Rams, a Rams team that wrapped up the NFC West, about 3 months ago. Went 13-3 this season, and Sean McVay, the head coach of the Rams, turning that franchise around and got a #1 overall pick quarterback leading the way in Jared Goff, who had a big season this year. A lot of threats on that offense, Everson.
It is a lot. And what you also have is a lot of youth on that team as well. And that's what the Cowboys are going to have to hang their hats on as far as I'm concerned. We've got no playoff experience. They have very little as well. I'm looking forward to the Cowboys coming in there, having the poise that they're going to have throughout this entire run they're trying to make, the poise that they've always had for these 9 games. They're going to have to keep their head on the swivel. They're going to have to make sure that as those balls start flying over their heads, you have to keep your poise and make sure that you do your job.
Gurley's been resting for like almost 3 weeks. They have no Cooper Kupp as their slot receiver, so that kind of slows your quarterback down, Jared Goff. But I think they'll be chomping at the bit, and it should be a physical game, but it will come down to the trenches this week.
Yeah, and there's a reason the Rams played for the home field. They're a much better team at home than they are on the road. Jared Goff, 22 touchdowns at home, 10 on the road. 4 interceptions at home, 9 on the road. He's had 9 300-yard passing games, 7 of them at home. And the Rams, when their running backs rush for 100 yards, they're 8-0. They're the only team that was unbeaten when they rush for 100 yards. They can beat you in so many different ways. This is why they're the second highest scoring team in football.
And Todd Gurley will find that end zone too. One of the differences this season between Gurley and Zeke Elliott is the rushing touchdowns. Gurley had 17, Zeke had 6, but they're both very similar because they catch the ball out of the backfield too.
Yeah, and that's what their quarterbacks need. I mean, you've got a lot of weapons on their side of the field. We don't have as many on ours. So the check down to Zeke has been very prosperous for us, opening up for the tight ends as well as far as Jarwin is concerned. That's helping with his success. So I'm looking forward to us matching them. But we have to keep them off the field. A lot like Super Bowl 25 that I played in. Keep them off the field. The defense is going to have to play a lot of plays.
Let me ask you guys about Aaron Donald, though. This is a guy with 20.5 sacks on the season.
From a defensive tackle.
From a defensive tackle position.
Let me say this here. I'm not worried about Aaron Donald. I'm serious. I'm not worried about Aaron Donald. The thing that scares me, if Ndamukong Suh comes to play. If he comes to play, that means they can stop our run. Because, a lot of people have given up on him, but he's just been sitting dormant. And we don't need for him to come up and play big, because if he plays big, it's definitely we can't double the other guy, Aaron Donald. But as long as it's just Aaron Donald, you can scheme one guy, but you can't scheme Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald.
On paper, the Rams have the most talent on defense in football. If Suh comes to play like Suh can, and if those two corners come, for the reason they went out and got 2 Pro Bowl corners, that they've been underachieving all year. They've been in the middle. I think they're 16th in the NFL defense. If these guys come to play, the Cowboys are going to have their hands full.
I think Wade Phillips will have them motivated to come to play, too, against the Cowboys. All right, we go around the league when Cowboys Insider continues in a moment.
This segment was brought to you by DraftKings, because you don't just want to watch, you want to play.
Cowboys Insider continues as we go around the league, brought to you by Auto Nation. Check out these division playoff matchups starting on Saturday afternoon. About the most solid team in the league the second half of the year has been the Indianapolis Colts, and they're going to Kansas City to take on Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Everson, what do you think?
Hey, this is just like the Cowboys game. I mean, you've got a team coming in that's been very solid defensively. The quarterback is on the roll. They've won at least, 7 in a row. So you're looking at a team that came off of a bad loss, and they learned from it, and they catapulted into the playoffs. And they are coming into, you talk about hostile territory. The Kansas City Chiefs fans have organized cheers. So they're going to be bombarded with just noise all day long. Communication is going to be a problem for the Colts.
All right.
But this is the worst matchup possible for the Chiefs. They are 0-4 in history against the Colts in the playoffs. and twice they were the top seed.
And Goose's roots are in Kansas City. He knows the history of that franchise. All right, how about the Chargers going to New England to take on the Patriots Sunday afternoon?
I think Chargers win this game. I think the Chargers are the most complete team in the AFC. They got one of the best quarterbacks in football. And these aren't the Patriots that we've seen in the past. This team has struggled this year. They finished with a losing record on the home. Only one of the 52 Super Bowl champions won a Super Bowl with a losing record on the road.
Rivers hadn't won a game against, has he won a game against Brady yet?
He's due.
He's due.
He's due.
I just think they're
when
complete.
the Chargers get on a plane, they win this year.
Yeah, they're the best road team in football. They're 8-1 on the road. The one loss was to the Rams in the Coliseum.
Until they win, they'll be getting back on the plane.
All right, Nate, you got the Eagles playing at the Saints Sunday afternoon.
And like Rick said, for the AFC, the best team all around is the Saints. End of story. No more Eagles. Thank you.
I got another topic I need to bring up.
What's that?
Cliff Kingsbury, Goose, got hired by the Arizona Cardinals head coach.
He couldn't let it go. He couldn't let it go.
I can't either. I cannot let this go.
If you can't win at Texas Tech, how are you going to win in
With
NFL?
Mahomes. With Mahomes.
How are you going to win in the NFL?
Like Everson said, boy, his luck
Falling
is rolling
He
uphill.
falls uphill.
Tell you what, there's no Kansas or Kansas State.
All right, just had to give him a soapbox there for just a second, and we wrap up Cowboys Insider in
You
just a
had to
moment.
do it, Bill. You had to do it.
Oh, man.
Cowboys Insider, presented by Baylor Scott & White, was brought to you by AT&T. More for your thing, that's our thing. Baylor Scott & White, changing healthcare for the better. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' film and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Final minute and a half of Cowboys Insider. Cowboys and Rams Saturday night at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum divisional playoff round. And let's go around the horn for some final comments. And how about a key to a Cowboys victory, Everson?
Key to a Cowboys victory is possession. Keep the Rams offense off the field. Continue with our solid, methodical drives. And Dak, do what you can to extend the play because Aaron Donald is looking for you.
Physical. And that is won and started in the trenches. Offensive line, you have to play well. Defense, continue to be what you have to be on your defensive line. Physical.
Feed Zeke. He's been given the ball 30 times on runs and handoffs and passes in his career. They're 8-1 when he gets the ball 30 times. I like the approach with Seattle last week. They gave him the ball early and often. They're 17-4 when he rushed for 100-yard games. Elliott is going to be the key. If he's the best running back on the field, the Cowboys win this game.
It should be fun. We'll be back here to talk about it next week and perhaps previewing an NFC championship game featuring the Cowboys for the first time in 23 years. For Everson, Rick, and Nate, I'm Bill, and we'll see you again next week here on Cowboys Insider.
Go Texas Tech.